All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
This is the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Good morning. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with my husband, fellow realtor Pat Devaney.
Good morning, Jackie. How are you today?
Oh, don't ask.
Well, we come here in separate cars, and we don't see each other much in the morning. So
infrequently. I'm usually out.
Yes.
Right? So I am doing very well. How are you?
Very well, thank
you. We have with us for the second week in a row, Susan Ceriti, president of Northeast Advisory Group. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here with us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming.
We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m., where we discuss various real estate topics. We have an exceptional office with many relentless realtors who've been guiding, assisting, and advising clients in real estate matters for 50-plus years.
During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com, or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you go to jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab and check out what's going on at Dunmore Corners.
Check us out on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. And also view our listings, search the MLS listings, and archive radio shows by going to mobile-friendly jruddy.com, jruddy.com, where we also have all our popular podcast apps that we feature the radio show on.
And years of radio shows there.
Many, many years.
But not all of them have made it. Some of the shows are in the circular file.
We have never discussed what we are discussing with Susan Ceriti, president of Northeast Advisory Group. Before we get into our discussion, Susan, please tell me who you are, what you do, where you do it, please.
Sure. Again, my name is Susan Ceriti, and I own and operate Northeast Advisory Group in downtown Scranton on Lackawanna Avenue. We have beautiful offices there, and we meet with clients regularly to discuss all types of concerns and find solutions for them, whether it's, insurance programs, investment programs. We like to listen to our clients and understand and provide solutions.
Wealth management?
Yeah, lots of wealth management.
And you actually you have another service that you provide companies?
Yes. Because we have such an array of services that we provide, we do everything from assisting employers with group health plans and benefits for their employees, 401k plans, all the way through, we do individual health insurance for clients, Medicare. We guide people through Medicare, help them make good Social Security decisions. And this all ties into wealth management. And not only, do we provide wealth management programs, but we really take a deep dive and assist our clients with all of the financial planning that's involved in that.
Complex stuff.
Very complex stuff. A very holistic approach we take.
And you've been doing this 20 years.
Over 20 years, yes.
Right. Okay, good. Good stuff. Susan, we're enjoying our discussion with you. And last week we really dove deep into what you provide, long-term care policies for individuals.
Yes.
And we're going to continue on that topic.
Yes.
And for anybody that didn't tune in last week, just a brief overview of what we discussed in a general way. Long-term care policies are for individuals looking to secure maybe, in their later years, a way to pay for in-home health care or an assisted living or nursing home.
Yes, and everything in between.
And everything in between.
And, like we talked previously, it really accomplishes protecting assets, protecting your beneficiaries from nursing home costs, and it really provides greater control of your care. So those would be the two main reasons. And, typically when it's planned properly, there's really no downside risk. There's always a way to get your premium back should you, expire in this lifetime before the benefit is used. There's a death benefit involved because of the way it's set up on the life insurance chassis.
And I think that's key.
Yes.
One of probably number one out of all the benefits to it. There's multiple, as we discussed last week.
Right.
Anybody that missed the show can go
listen to it. But
yes.
like I pay my car insurance. I'm not getting last year. Well, thank God I paid it. I'm not getting anything back unless I get in an accident. But this one, everybody,
Homeowners
my dad
insurance.
used to say, none of us is getting out of this alive. So at the end, if I think, hopefully I don't end up in assisted living or need nursing care, that there is that benefit. There'll be the return of premium.
Yeah,
Plus some.
You've worked so hard to get to this stage in your life where you're living off of all of your hard work through your retirement, accounts and your equity in your home, and to overlook protecting that can be a big mistake sometimes.
And life insurance doesn't kick in until after you
Until your
pass.
life is over.
Right. So, right. I mean, you pay into that, and that, goes hopefully.
Right. And if you have a term,
right.
it's not guaranteed
It's
you're going to get
vanished.
that. Yeah.
Sure.
And who knows? That crystal ball, like
Yeah.
you say, right?
Yes.
So, okay. Now, if we were interested in doing this, coming in, seeing you, and diving in and getting a policy, what would that entail?
Typically, a person coming in looking for long-term care, they're looking to protect their assets. So, again, we're protecting that beneficiary from losing those assets due to long-term care. So, when you look at where the funds should come from, it's going to come from that legacy money. And that all depends. The amount that you want to put in depends on, it's a very individual decision, because it depends on, first of all, how much is there that you want to protect. So it's very arbitrary when you start the process, because we're just going to kind of start with an arbitrary figure. Are we going to start with $25,000 premium, $50,000 premium? And again, you can spread that premium over your lifetime. So it's not an all at once. However, you can do that. You can spread it over 5 payments, 10 payments, 20 payments, or out to age 100. So with that, we kind of just start with a quote and see where those numbers come back. If everything looks good, we ask some questions. How long did your parents live? What is your health right now? Is this something that you really think you need? All of those decisions come into play during that initial meeting. After that, if you decide to move forward and that it's a good fit and a good solution, then we do an application. And it's very similar to a life insurance application because, again, it is on a universal life insurance chassis with that long-term care rider. So we just kind of put the application together for you. It goes through underwriting. The unique thing with this that's different than the life insurance is that it's with life insurance, they underwrite for mortality. They're, trying to underwrite and see your expected life expectancy. With this, they're underwriting for morbidity. So the more money is going to come out of the policy if you actually live longer. So it's underwritten with morbidity. So a little bit of different underwriting. And what that means is, some questions to test your cognitive ability. Say these 5 things, name them back in the same order. But really, really simple underwriting. They may pull a urine and blood sample, but a lot of times that's waived depending on your medical history. After
They're pulling medical records.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So there is a possibility that one would not be able to.
Yes, it is underwritten, and we've seen cases be denied.
Okay.
So that's why, again, we go back to that. What is the best age? 50 to 65 is
Okay.
the best age to
Yeah,
look at
in the
these.
40s is too young.
It's a little too young.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I'm in my 70s, I'm too old.
Pretty much, but we've actually done them above 65 and below 45, and they've worked out. But
So if there's a listener out there that's just beyond 65, they can call you, have a sit down, and see if they can move forward.
Yes.
Right?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
What would be too old? 75.
yes,
80.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what if I had a medical history, which I don't, but just for an example, that I maybe had some situation in my 30s, but I'm recovered from it, like
Sure.
maybe cancer. What would that be like?
So, they would look at if there's any complications going forward with that, if there's any probability of complications. It's always best to have full disclosure because, they're going to access your medical records and see that in there. And full disclosure up front is always the best.
Right.
But each case is so unique.
Right.
And, they're going to treat each case in a unique manner, underwriting wise.
Okay. And I like how you said you look at the medical history of the parents, right? So
Yes.
Yeah, she was asking how long mom and dad lived. And my mom lived to be 90. My dad was 86. Your dad was 80, right? So
Yeah.
and
It's an indication.
right.
It's not a definite, but
but it helps with the crystal ball.
Yes.
That we don't have.
it takes some blur out of it.
Right. Okay. So how long of a process are we looking at from application to acceptance or denial?
Yep. So the whole process takes anywhere between 30 and 60 days. And, I would also add that once the policy is issued, you always have that 30-day free look period where once the policy is issued, you decide this is not for you, you don't want to go down this road, you have the right to cancel that and get 100% of your premium back. And the policies, going forward are going to be retro refunded. So, if you cancel at any time, you're not locked in for life. There's always a surrender value within the policy as well.
That's like life insurance.
Exactly.
Okay. Susan Ceriti, president of Northeast Advisory Group. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
Yes, sure. They can call me at 570-343-0800 or email me at susan@neadvisorygroup.com.
Thank you so much, Susan, for coming in 2 weeks in a row. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. This is the time I'd like to take a moment to thank my sponsor, Lori Ligorio of Caring Transitions. You have a specialty, and so does Caring Transitions. Their experts help families in times of transition and relocation. Their services help eliminate the clutter so you can do what you do best, sell the home. Whether it's organizing and packing homes full of possessions, managing clutter, cleanouts, donations, and liquidating saleable items, let Caring Transitions help remove the barriers and assist in getting the house sold. Call Lori Ligorio of Caring Transitions for a free consultation, 570-280-2516, or visit caringtransitionsScranton.com. Did you know in 2022, the Century 21 brand continued to maintain the highest brand awareness level, a trend that Century 21 has upheld since 1999 for 24 years running. Did you know that?
right, how many people come in and say, "Oh, I want to list with Century 21"?
There's a lot. 45% of consumers identified the Century 21 brand as the most recognized name in real estate. Consumers selected the Century 21 brand as the most respected in the industry. And consumers selected the Century 21 brand as the most likely to consider for future transactions.
Right. I'm driving down the road. I see people with for sale signs, and it says Howdy Doody Real Estate. I'm like, well, what is that? They have little tiny terrible signs and unrecognizable. I don't know what they are.
If there's an election,
It looks like it does. It looks like
it just mixes in with all the political
absolutely.
signs.
But ours are on poles. They're beautiful
They
signs.
stand above the rest.
And name writers, yes.
Okay, good.
I know that because I'm the sign guy.
And you do a great job with the signs. Every day I receive 3 or 4 emails just real estate related with articles, various articles that I could click on. And every once in a while, something really piques my interest. But out of all the articles I recently came across my computer was like the 10 real estate markets that will dominate in 2023. That's interesting to me. Or a 20% home price decline, ? 7 forecast models or a leaning crash. Here's what the other 13 have to say.
Well,
Okay?
this comes to turn the news off, doesn't it?
Yeah, yes, as I mentioned, I think it was last week, shut off the news. U.S. is suffering from the second biggest home price correction of the post-World War II era 7 types of real estate agents this market will crush. Geez, like really.
Well, good news.
Which real estate trends will take over in 2023? Which will disappear? Intriguing, right? Then I come across murder, bribery, and contempt charges. Just another month in real estate.
Okay.
Now, that really got my attention. So, real estate intersects with just about everything. Politics, economics, even entertainment. But as we saw in January, there's also a significant overlap between real estate and crime. So let me explain. There was no shortage of stories. So the first one that comes to mind is no more than the high-profile case in Massachusetts where the 47-year-old Brian Walsh was charged with murder for allegedly killing his wife, Anna Walsh. She was a Tishman Speyer executive. A possible motive emerged when prosecutors revealed, you're going to really like this, that Brian Walsh had searched how long for someone to be missing to inherit, either on his phone or on his computer.
Well, he deleted that, so they can't find it.
Yeah,
right?
he searched the internet. Now, Anna had amassed a $2.8 million portfolio of properties.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. But that's how they found out that he was.
Didn't he search other different stuff too, like how to dispose of a body? I was reading all those different articles.
Could have. Maybe.
But he did it on his kid's iPad. They'll never catch him, because he's smarter than everybody.
Okay, then in New York, a former Rinaldi Group executive who was a vice president at a construction management firm was accused by prosecutors of stealing at least $5 million from 7 developers and construction kickback schemes that spanned nearly a decade. And that goes on everywhere, doesn't it? But he got caught. Also in New York, a disbarred lawyer was charged in January by the Brooklyn DA with defrauding homeowners in an alleged scheme that netted him $2.3 million. It's the third time in 6 years this lawyer has been indicted. This time around, he faces charges of possession of stolen property, grand larceny, and scheme to defraud.
I guess he didn't learn his lesson. I guess it must be profitable.
Yeah. What do they call that?
A repeat offender?
Yeah, but there's another word, a repeat. A federal judge has held an accountant in Long Island and a Long Island-based accounting firm in contempt for failing to comply with subpoenas to produce information about a Williamsburg hotel, which has been approved for a $96 million sale. So he's been ordered to pay $500 per day until he complies.
That's peanuts to him. Peanuts.
Now in Los Angeles, across the country, a former city councilman agreed to plead guilty in federal court to extorting $1.5 million in bribes from real estate developers over the course of 7 years. He received bribes in the form of cash, hotel stays, gambling chips, and favorable loans. This really makes real estate look dirty.
Well, kickbacks, they never happen anywhere but New York. They never happens up here. Nobody ever gets in trouble for stuff.
In Real Deal's January issue, they reported on the arrest of 4 ex-board members of the Hammocks Community Association Miami for allegedly looting $2 million from the association's coffers. And more arrests are coming, they say. On the reality TV front, Todd and Julie Chrisley, stars of the USA reality show Chrisley Knows Best, reported to prison after being sentenced to serve 12 and 7 years, respectively, for defrauding community banks for more than $30 million in loans, and they evaded federal income taxes for years. Now, while not crime-related, a real estate agent is being charged with defamation. Now, this is something I think we can all learn from, and we know the offenders in our area, the repeat offenders that just can't help themselves, and we have to know about it through their Facebook posts, right? But listen up, people. This real estate agent's being charged with defamation because of a number of inflammatory comments on social media.
What, so they're naming people? They're saying this person did that, this person did that. So they're being charged with defamation?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a civil suit, right? Isn't that a suit where they would probably have to pay?
It's not something you want to deal with, right?
No, not at all.
Right.
But
So
people, they think it's on Facebook. They can say whatever they
now,
want.
in Canada, and this is I think really very serious, and it scares me to even think about, but organized crime has mortgaged or sold at least 60 homes without owner's knowledge. You know what they're doing? And I saw this. This was a news clip that came across my computer. An organized crime group starts by looking through publicly available property records, and then they target certain properties, okay? From there, the groups receive fraudulent funds and use stolen IDs and hire stand-ins to pose as tenants to gain access to the home. And then they have other stand-ins impersonate the homeowners to mortgage and sell it. A lot of times they're petty criminals that are paid anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to stand in and pose as homeowners. And the people behind the frauds are not the ones that are actually the front-facing people. After that, the mortgage or sale happens quickly. For the sales, the fake homeowners accept the first reasonable offer they get. In most instances, they're very sophisticated people. The money is moved out of these fraudulent bank accounts, usually within days. And it'll get changed fairly quickly, either into cryptocurrency, moved out, or into gold bullion. And it's shipped overseas immediately and out of reach of authorities.
That's scary.
Very scary. And that's ongoing. It's a big, big problem. So that's real estate and some highlights of January. And let's hope that the future months are a little quieter, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. What do you see for the future? What does your crystal ball say?
Well, okay. So during the pandemic, we did see a market on fire, right? Bananas.
Crazy. Lined up, wave inspections.
Okay. The actual, time that people stayed in their home decreased. It was, on average 10 years. They saw a shift. It was actually 8 years because people saw that they could get really good money for their home. First-time home buyers' share jumped to the highest level since 2017. Sellers got their price. In many instances, it went way over, and they didn't have to provide any incentives. There were no contingencies. Buyers waived inspections. They were paying cash. And many homes were on the market for a week or less. Days, hours sometimes, right? But now we're in a correction mode. So the market's adjusting. We're seeing higher interest rates, right? Higher than the 3s and the 4s that were going on during the pandemic. We're contending with inflation. So many first-time home buyers have decided to stay on the sidelines and wait it out, right? And sellers need to adjust their expectations. Now they're offering incentives. The buyers that are still in the game, and there are plenty that are still in the game that want to buy, can buy, and should buy. Because I think, at some point they'll be able to refinance.
Yes, absolutely. They're paying these big rates now. When we bought our house, what was the rates? The rates were 6.5%, and it was. And then every year or two, when the rates would go down, I would refinance it. And then eventually I got like 2 7/8. So rates go up and rates go down.
They may not be able to afford as much, but they could adjust their expectations
Absolutely.
too, right?
So the market here, would you say, is different from the market in New York, as we can use certain examples that we know of?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Real
We know
estate is
people,
local.
Everything is local. We know people in New York that are selling properties, and the realtor says, "Oh, list it for this price. You're definitely going to get it." And now the house is on the market 4 months later, and they're telling them, "Well, maybe you have to drop it $50,000, and then you're going to have to drop it another $25,000 to get into a realistic expectation of what the home should be."
Now, buyers are now able to choose financing and the financing that works for them. Many sellers were not accepting certain financing when they were having multiple offers, right?
Yep.
They can do inspections.
Absolutely.
Right? They're coming back. Inspections are coming back. And they no longer have to forfeit their firstborn in order to get this house, right? Okay. So for that, they don't have to make up their mind in like 2 milliseconds.
Right. And then have buyer's remorse in 2 weeks.
Right. So there's some benefits. They could take their little bit more time, be a little bit more choosy, and, as a result, not jump into something that they regret.
Right. It's going to be the biggest investment of your life, probably. So you should take your time and think it through.
Stay with the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21, Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. We'll be right back after a very brief break. In your past real estate experiences, did you find most agents were mediocre? At Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate, we defy mediocrity by being relentless. Don't settle for average. Contact the Relentless at Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate. We have an excellent track record of serving the community for 50 plus years. Call 570-344-6724 or visit jruddy.com. That's jruddy.com. Welcome back to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker. And with Pat Devaney, my husband, Phil, realtor.
Yes, so we're back for a couple of minutes.
For a couple of minutes. And real estate is local.
Yes, it is. Everything is local.
So homes are selling. Here's what the news isn't telling you, right?
Turn the news off.
Yeah, turn the news off. There are a few bidding wars still happening in areas and price points that are popular.
Yes.
Okay. Multiple offer situations are still happening. There's more multiple offer situations than there are bidding wars. Prices peaked last year, sellers, people that are looking to put their house on the market.
The high point was last year.
Yeah, mid-year 2022, right? And then it started to
trickle down a little bit.
Right, slow down. And, when the interest rates started creeping up. So, but we need homes to sell. Now is the time to list a home and sell it. Hit the pre-spring market. Don't wait till May, June. Get on now.
That cabin fever, that spring fever is real.
There are buyers on the sidelines, even with the rates, because they went up, they went down, they went back up a little bit, they came back down. So,
it's not insane. It's not like they're 13% like they were in the in the 80s.
No. And it's going to be a while before I think we'll see the threes.
I think that was all artificial.
Yeah. And so, but it's still not bad when you look at over the last several decades.
You got that right.
When we bought our home, how long ago?
We bought our home
1990.
About 2000 we bought the house, and then we did all the renovations and we did everything over. In 2007, 2008, the rate was 6.5%. That's right about where it is now.
Lower.
Is it? Okay.
It's lower now. Right. So at this time, I'd like to say hi to Ken Casey, who called into our office to let us know he is a listener of our show. He enjoys listening, and we appreciate you calling in to say hi to us, and keep on listening. We appreciate you.
We have listeners all over the country. We really do.
Pat, would you like to review a listing?
Yes, we have a two-family home. It's a duplex, an up and a down, at 1509-1511 North Webster Avenue in Dunmore for $275,000. This building, it's in very good condition. It's got beautiful hardwood floors, plenty of original woodwork. The second floor unit has been nicely updated, and it has 3 bedrooms with a newer kitchen and bath. Now, the second floor apartment also has access to the attic, a walk-up attic for additional storage. The first floor apartment is a 3-bedroom apartment. Now, it's kind of unique. It's got an in-law suite, which is not currently rented. And if you wanted to rent it, you'd have to check with Dunmore zoning to determine if a third unit is permitted. Each unit has separate heat and water. There is off-street parking in the rear of the building. This is a nice building. That's a two-family home at 1509-1511 North Webster Avenue in Dunmore for $275,000, and that's listed by Sam Shelter of our office.
Thank you, Pat. Remember to tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m. to listen to more of the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. Have a fantastic week.